Hola, señoritas. Well, before we review the subjunctive, we need to take a minute just to review moods and tenses. If you remember, a mood is what the speaker is trying to convey. We learned two moods. And a tense is when an action occurred. And we learned many tenses. Two present tenses, preterite, imperfect, future, and so on and so forth. The two moods that we learned, the first one being the indicative mood. Way back when you first started learning the present tense, it was really the present indicative because you were expressing something real, factual information, like Yo voy a Mexico mucho. I go to Mexico a lot. You can also ask a question about something real. ¿Quieres ir conmigo? Do you want to go with me? The indicative mood, the mood of what is, as opposed to the subjunctive, the mood of what may be, which expresses a condition which is doubtful or not factual. Remember the clauses for the subjunctive: main clause, subordinate clause. The main clause must be a verb of doubt, wish, want, followed by a change in subject, and then the subordinate clause where the subjunctive verb is used. We also learn noun clauses. The first three uses were noun clauses because they serve as the object of the verb of will, influence, and motion. For example, I hope you have a good day. I hope what? That you have a good day. So the you have a good day starts with the noun. The subjunctive is found after you. Espero que tengas un buen día. So, our first three uses were noun clauses. The first one after verbs of will and influence. For example, quiero que tú vayas a casa. I want you to go home. Just because I want you to go home doesn't mean you're going to. I don't know, you don't know, no one knows. The future is a mist. Mi papá prefiere que yo estudie mucho. Just because my dad prefers that I study a lot, I may not study a lot. And then, mi hermano le pide a su novia que le compre helado. My brother is asking that his girlfriend buy him ice cream. Well, the girlfriend may not have enough money to buy him the ice cream. And then we had the impersonal expressions also, like es importante que. Estemos listos. Just because it's important that we're ready for, example, the exams doesn't mean we're going to be. Our second use of the subjunctive, noun clause again, is after verbs of emotion, like Marta se alegra de que su novio busque un trabajo. She's happy that the boyfriend's finding a job or looking for a job. Just because she's happy about it doesn't mean he's actually going to go out and do it. And then, no me gusta que veas mucha televisión. I don't like you watching a lot of TV. Just because I don't like it, you still may watch a lot of TV. That's the idea of the subjunctive. And then we have my favorite expression, ojalá, ojalá. Ojalá que llueva mucho hoy. May God grant that it rain a lot today. Then we have, look at that guy. Anyway, then we have the third use of the subjunctive, right here in noun clauses again, after verbs of doubt, disbelief, and denial. Remember this. Las estudiantes del señor Maresca duden que él viaje a Guatemala cada verano. My students doubt that I travel to Guatemala each summer. Just because you doubt that I do that doesn't mean I don't do it. I may do it. And then we have, yo no creo que el señor Maresca sea inteligente. You don't believe that I'm intelligent. Well, just because you don't believe it, you're probably right. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. Es imposible que el señor Maresca sepa hablar español. Remember all of the posibles and the probables, as long as you're changing subjects, will take the subjunctive. Then we have our fourth use, adverbial clauses. These were the adverbial clauses with conjunctions. And remember what an adverbial clause does. It modifies verbs, adverbs, and adjectives by telling when, where, why, how much, and so on and so forth. They begin with the subordinating conjunctions such as after, provided that, unless, and they contain a subject and a verb. But more importantly is how they're used in Spanish. Remember, there are certain conjunctions that always use the subjunctive. For example, Pablo va al cine con tal de que él termine la tarea. Con tal de que, provided that, always takes the subjunctive. He's going to the movies provided he finishes his homework. He may never finish the homework though. And then we have Teresa va a trabajar en Nueva York a menos que su novio no quiera ir. A menos que will always take the subjunctive. She's going to work in New York unless the boyfriend doesn't want to go. And then voy a estudiar antes de que el partido empiece. I'm going to study before the game begins. Remember with antes de, if you have a change in subject, here we have yo voy, and el partido, the subjunctive must be used. And then here are a group of conjunctions that can either be indicative or subjunctive. You have to be careful. Remember, the subjunctive is all about the future. And so therefore, Pablo va a ir al cine en cuanto él termine la tarea. He's going to go to the movies en cuanto, as soon as he finishes the homework. En cuanto is a conjunction that may take the indicative or the subjunctive. Here, because the main clause is about the future, it'll take the subjunctive, termine. As opposed to Pablo nunca va al cine en cuanto él termina la tarea. Here, it's an habitual action. He never goes to the movie as soon as he finishes the homework. Here's another one. Cuando el señor Manesca tenga 66 años, va a viajar a Inglaterra. Our main clause, va a viajar a Inglaterra, is the main clause. We're thinking the future. So after cuando, the verb is in the subjunctive because it's unfulfilled. Señor Manesca may not get to 66 years old. You don't know, I don't know, no one knows. As opposed to el señor Manesca siempre come helado. What do I always do? I eat ice cream cuando llega a casa. When I get home, I always eat ice cream. And then finally we have our fifth use of the subjunctive. And that is the adjective clauses. And an adjective clause is a dependent clause that, like an adjective, modifies a noun or a pronoun. So here's some examples. Oops, where did that come from? Here's an example. Well, there's going to be many examples, but let's take a look at when we use it in the subjunctive in Spanish. So, in Spanish, the subjunctive is used in an adjective clause when the antecedent is indefinite or unknown, or is non-existent or negated. That's negated means it's the negative antecedent. In contrast, the indicative is used when the antecedent is definite or an existing one. For example, here we go. Quiero una casa que tenga 3 baños. I want a house that has 3 bathrooms. To me, that house doesn't exist. So, quiero una casa que tenga. It doesn't exist yet. As opposed to, tengo una casa que tiene 3 baños. I have a house that exists, that has 3 bathrooms. I have it. It exists. Here's another example. Felipe busca un trabajo que le dé suficiente libertad. He's looking for a job that gives him a lot of free time. He may never find that job. It's non-existent right now. As opposed to Felipe tiene un trabajo que le da suficiente libertad. He has that job now. It exists. And then finally we have nosotros no conocemos a nadie que sepa hablar ruso. This is the negative antecedent. We don't know anyone that knows how to speak Russian. As opposed to conocemos a alguien que sabe hablar ruso. We know someone who speaks Russian. So that's our little review of the subjunctive. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took notes. Muchas gracias. Hablaremos pronto.